from Simon Fraser University.
My name is Huang Chen from University of Carolina.
Today we are going to make a presentation entitled Generation 1.5 from Struggling to Flourishing. First, I would like to explain the key concepts in our presentation and moving on to the interview.
And then we're going to talk about my creative work, and that will lead to the end of our presentation today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Globalization has made an increasing trend of migration. Some families are bringing their children from their home country to host country. And recently, these children and adolescents are categorized as Generation 1.5 because they are in between the two generations, the first generation and the second generation, and two different cultural backgrounds. Traditionally, they have ambiguous, rather negative characteristics because they are neither newcomers nor host country born. And because of their characteristics of between, they have various challenges in their new environment. The first challenge of Generation 1.5 would be lack of the second language proficiency. Linguistic competence is the most crucial skills in integration to the new society. And actually, unfortunately, they have high dropout rate at secondary school. And language learning is very complex in the power relationship with the issue regarding race, ethnicity, class, and gender. So usually Generation 1.5 are marginalized at the beginning, and some of them are going to mainstream, and some of them are staying marginalized, and some people are even looking for the other places outside of the school they belong to. Next, I'd like to talk about psychosocial challenges they are confronting. They have culture shock between two different cultures, the one from their native countries and the one in the host countries. And usually they are adjusting, abandoning their own culture. Therefore, they have psychological gap between their parents and Generation 1.5. Some families are losing their parental control and authority, and even their family structures. Therefore, Generation 1.5 tend to at the risk of mental health problems. Next, I'd like to talk about unique process of identity construction of Generation 1.5. They have complex relationships between power, identity, and language learning. A language learner, such as Generation 1.5, has multiple desires and social identity, and they are continuously organizing and reorganizing who they are and how to relate to social world. They need sense of belongings, but not sense of being different. In some, Generation 1.5 is in the process of unique identity construction in the period of puberty in multiple situations. Next, I'd like to talk about potentials of Generation 1.5. The first potential of Generation 1.5 would be multi-competent individuals. Multi-competence is defined as compound state of mind with two languages and the total language knowledge of a person with two languages. Therefore, they have different language processing system, and also they have strong features. Firstly, they have practical and creative use of knowledge, and secondly, they are sensitive to surroundings. And lastly, their multi-competence is continuously developing. And the second potential would be creation of their own hybrid cultures. In the era of globalization and high technology, We are enjoying global transportation system, worldwide information and worldwide information and communication systems such as internet. Therefore, they can link to their original background, even they are living outside of their countries, and they can expand network beyond space. And also, their perspectives are already beyond majority-minority dichotomy, including interminority, meaning within two different minorities, for example, Asians and blacks, and also intergroup, meaning a group within one minority, such as South Asians of different religion persuasions. Hi Wendy, it's great to have you here. Could you shortly introduce yourself?
Hi, yes, of course. My name is Wanyueli Chen. I consider myself a generation 1.5. I was born in Taiwan and moved to Canada with my family in 1994. I love art making, so once I finished my undergraduate studies here from the University of British Columbia, I moved to the United States and pursued my master's degree in fine arts. My work reflects my sandwich position and also portrays my cross-cultural experiences.
Okay. So you might have had some challenges and difficulties since you have immigrated here in Canada. How do you recognize that these challenges and difficulties have influenced your artwork?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I have experienced a lot of difficulties and struggles, and they are in fact what motivated me to create. I remember once there was someone who came to me and said, "Oh, your work is great and I really enjoy your pieces. They're cheerful and they're whimsical. If your work represents who you are, I envy you very much." I truly appreciate this comment, but this person was only partially right. The fact that my work looks cheerful does not necessarily mean my life is equally joyful. I remember at my earlier stage, my work looked dark and gloomy as they reflected my frustration and struggles. However, as time passed by, I started to realize that there are different sides for many things, and I just need to change myself and appreciate them from different perspectives.
And your work are very unique and meaningful. You are trying to connect two cultures. And what do you believe are the potentials of this generation?
Potentials, I think we're being positive and optimistic. I believe we carry all the potentials we can possibly think of. Although I can't speak for all, I personally believe that Generation 1.5 has a great potential, working particularly in fields that require multicultural experiences and global insights. We promote awareness of other cultures and celebrate cultural diversity. We could serve to help the new in-between generation overcome the anxiety and frustration that we once had, and we offer first-hand information and support. With our multicultural experience, our bilingual language advantage, and cross-cultural connection, we could step out and fit in around the world.
And we have, as we have discussed, Generation 1.5 has many potentials. And personally, I have two teenage daughters, and they are struggling every day as Generation 1.5. What do you think is an appropriate guidance support for them?
Oh, this is a tough question, because it is frustrating for a lot of teenagers to define who they are at the early stage in their life. So this is even more so for the young Generation 1.5, which just came to the new country. At school, they have to face different challenges, for example, learning a new language, adapting to a new environment and making new friends, etc. Home becomes a safe place for them to unmask themselves and relax. And I think that at this time of their life, support and care from their parents become the major source for relief. Okay. I think parents should remain understanding, open-minded, and encouraging. Yet at the same time, they should try to avoid being overprotective, as doing so will slow down the process of fitting in. Struggling is definitely not a pleasant experience to have, but it matures an individual, and I think Generation 1.5 needs to step outside their comfort zone and develop a new mindset.
And you have also had an experience to teach at secondary schools in the multicultural settings.
Right.
What is important support to this generation at schools?
Okay, I believe all the teachers at the school are trying to offer some help and support to the students, especially the new immigrants, to have an equal, safe, inclusive classroom and a learning environment will be a good start. The teacher should treat everyone in the class equally regardless of their race, class, gender, and religion. Secondly, the extra help and time offered by the teacher will greatly benefit the students who need the extra help. It's a good idea for the teacher to keep a track of the students' performance in class and participation in the activities in general, and then make sure the parents are well informed. So the teacher, the parents, and the student are all well connected. Thirdly, it will be very encouraging if the teacher will try to promote and encourage the students to participate in school events and club activities that promote multiculturalism and anti-racism. Because during such a workshop or activities, students can not only learn more about other cultures, they can also have a chance to introduce their own culture to the new environment. Last but not least, the counseling services. In the school, there are many professionally trained counselors who are ready and available to help students to deal with their personal issues. So especially for the young new immigrants, I think it's very important for them to find a safe and healthy way to release their negative energy, especially during their struggling process.
So what do you think is the key to become an active cultural habit? Do you have any advice to this generation?
Oh, okay. In my opinion, I think getting involved in community activities is a good way. Because the new generation 1.5 will have more chances interacting with different people, and they will accept themselves naturally in the group. At the same time, I think sometimes this generation 1.5 may feel reserved or afraid of expressing themselves in front of the public, mainly because of their language barrier or cultural difference. But avoiding is only going to shut down the conversation. So be positive and speak up. Also, negative thoughts, especially self-denial or self-doubt, will occur from time to time. So it is very crucial for the new generation 1.5 to learn how to deal and live with them peacefully.
Okay, lastly, we are in the era of the globalization, and more cultural diversity would be seen in many parts of the world in the future. What is the message to people and to societies to realize true multiculturalism?
Good question. I feel very fortunate to live in Vancouver, one of the most well-known multicultural communities in the world. It is a shared society. So people here in Vancouver value cultural diversity and welcome newcomers. But in the meanwhile, I realized that the notion of globalization and multiculturalism are still not very well established in many parts of the world. People in such communities tend to be fixed in an outdated structure and are reluctant toward the new trend. My advice for them will be flexible and accommodating, because the world is changing every day. Things are no longer linear in the globalization era, and So please be open to all the global citizens and their perspectives, because it is going to be a shared world after all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.